Hello, I am a real catfish, and in today's video I'm going to be continuing my building Mount Olympus project. As far as I am aware, this is episode 7, and in this episode basically we are going to be filling in some more of the side work, working on some of the bottom of the build, and also connecting up the dome at the top. Now, this might be the last one of these videos I have done for a little while, because I have recorded a couple of videos but not about Mount Olympus, because basically about 2-3 weeks ago I got hit by a car, which is no fun, and so it means that basically I've been living at home with my parents, which is absolutely wonderful. You know, it's fabulous I can do that, but all of my usual setup stuff is in my accommodation because I'm currently studying. Thankfully I managed to get hold of my laptop and stuff, and I'm able to work with that from home, so there's no worries, but it's just all sat on my lap at the minute. So as you can see, I am just filled in that wall behind, but don't worry, there will be more detail added to that wall just because it's still a tiny bit plain. But I've connected it so that these side bits now have a nice shape, and what I've done here, as you can see, is I'm going about and just seeing if there's any shapes that fit with what I'm after for the general aesthetic. This was a bit difficult just because it wasn't an easy way to get the right shape in, but eventually I found a shape that I generally enjoyed, and it just kind of, to me, said, yeah, this fits the right aesthetic for what I'm after. I now go down to the floor. Now, as I say, I've been building this entire project with a reference image which I found on Google. If you just type in Mount Olympus, you'll find this big image of, well, basically this is what I've been using. And it's great because it shows the front very nicely, but the issue is it doesn't show any other direction of the build, so I have no way to see the sides or back. So when it comes to those aspects, when I don't get to it, I will have to build them using my imagination, in all honesty, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. I'm sure I can work it out. As you can see here, I've just used one of the pillars from above, just to kind of get an idea about how I want to build the pillars below, and then I'm going to basically change it up, move it about, and see if I can fit it better into the space. I think it's pretty cool that I've got the right sizing between the floor and the roof, between each side, so it's the same both sides kind of thing, you know, at the top and bottom. But as I say, I'm changing it up because it's too large for the space that I've got, so you'll see that basically with the whole column it will move and change in a bit, but I also add an absolute bunch of them, which is really awesome. So taking a look from this angle, you can see once again the column, which is still currently the exact same as it is on the level above, but I've then gone through and basically copied and pasted it using the structure block. And then I work out, okay, let's see what fits. So for example, I get rid of the fire spots above, and I make sure that everything is just connected so that there's no empty spaces. So then behind here, I'm then going to fill in walls and just make sure that it fits. So I'm going to copy the same design on the other side to this side. As you can see, I've gotten rid of the fireplaces just now, and then I connect up the floor like so. I think one thing I'd like to try and work out, at the minute I'm currently using world paint to make worlds because, well, once again, I haven't got access to my world on my Xbox, so I can't really build that easily with this. So at the minute I'm using world paint on my PC to basically make a map that I can use and just build whatever on. It's difficult because, as I say, at the minute I can't access any of my builds, I can't access anything like that, just because everything's too entrenched in my accommodation and it just would be too difficult to get hold of. And also at some point I do intend to go back and, you know, carry on. But for the minute, for my educational stuff and for this, all I need is a laptop, and to be quite frank, to a certain extent I'm happy with a new fresh start with a new map. As you can see here, everything's just being filled in nicely, and once again, it's one of those things where I don't want to just have a wall, so I've made it so there is space for certain things around. So you've got that nice little pattern I've got building in there. I also make sure that it's not just pure red or yellow sandstone. I try and get it so it's a good mixture of both, just because otherwise it really is a boring shape and colour, and I find they complement and also contrast really nicely together. And then you can also see on the left side of the build now, I'm just going to copy and paste, well, I'm not going to copy and paste, I'm going to build it, a copy of what's on the right hand side of the build. So it's the squares with the stairway going up, and this once again will just connect it. Now, I'm a huge fan of this build and general style because it's so big, so imposing, but also human, and I don't know, there's just something amazing of just like looking at these kind of style of either builds or structures in real life, or, you know, the artwork that humans have made, and just being able to build it and just feel satisfaction by looking at it and going, yeah, I built that, you know, I think that's cool. And going about just adding all these bits and bobs, once again copying it from the other side, making sure that everything fits. In total this took about maybe 2 or 3 hours, and with future videos or projects I might try and make it so that they are a bit longer in the filming and also planning, because I realise this series is already now, according to this video, 7 videos long, and that's just a bit long for what should theoretically be in a lot of other people's videos 1 video. And so in future projects the plan is to reduce the amount of video I'm taking but increase the amount of time the projects have spent on them, because as I said, I spent a long time on these projects here, but I'm just putting videos up whenever. So either the next video might be a case of me just showing you what this, when I do eventually get back to my accommodation, it might be just a case of finishing off this project and just kind of showcasing it, or it might be a case of it's the last video building and just kind of showing what I've done and how I'm catching up. But I'll need to see, because I'm really not sure myself, to be honest. I have no concrete plans, and the issue is as I say, is trying to learn how to do things properly. So for example, I'm hearing people have Bedrock, I have Bedrock, but people have the Java edition, and they have this app where you can play back your recording. And so I'm really trying to work out which app is which and what would work with Bedrock or not. As I say, World Paint doesn't work with Bedrock, but I can use it because I can transfer maps from a Java edition to Bedrock, because I found an app called MCC Toolbox, which has been really cool for just moving maps between Java and Bedrock. So for example, I've been using a bunch of just maps just to have a look at and just see actually, okay, what can we do, you know, what style of build do I want to have for a certain thing, what do I want to do here, what do I want to do there, and just bits like that, which has been really good to do and really fun. And I'm really pleased with the projects and process I've had going so far. As you can see here, I'm replacing the last layer down the bottom of this dome with copper, and I'm using the very blue, very oxidized copper just because I think that looks better. And all in all, you'll see here in a moment, I'm just about to go into the kind of final view of what I've got. So there is Mount Olympus at the moment, and this will be the last time you see Mount Olympus for a little while on the channel, just because I need to work out where I am and just kind of decide what I'm going to be doing in the future. So thank you very much, and goodbye.